Hi everyone, it's been a week or two since I put out a video, so I wanted to put one out just saying hello and going over a few things for the course, looking ahead and whatnot, um, and also going over this module a bit too. I hope you've all been doing well. I've been checking in on the discussion board. You guys are working really hard, putting your thoughts forth. If you guys have any questions about the course in general, feel free to shoot me an email. I'd love to speak with you. Also, if you have any questions that's not related to the course, also feel free to email me. So. One student this past week emailed me a question about who are the most famous living psychologists because she was thinking about maybe trying to see one speak. So we had a great little discussion about who some of those people were, and I might even post kind of a video about that. So kind of just a fun topic to talk about. So definitely here for all those thoughts and questions. This module, I believe it's titled The Influence of Others, and it's over social influence and pro-social behavior. These are probably my two favorite areas of social psychology. They're definitely my favorite areas of social psychology and pro-social behavior. When I was getting my bachelor's degree, so I was where most of you are at, this was probably my favorite area of psychology, period. I loved studying the factors that influence us when we help people. So for instance, something that really fascinated me was the simple social effect that if there is some sort of emergency and you yell out, "Somebody call 911," no one is likely to call unless you designate someone to call. So it's much more effective to say, "You call out 911, you call 911, you in the blue shirt, call 911 now, we need help." Much more likely to get a response doing that than just throwing it out there. And that's because people tend to diffuse responsibility and saying, well, someone else will do it, someone else will do it. And it's a very, very robust effect. There's the famous story of Kitty Genovese, who was a woman who got stabbed, I think it was like 26 times or something, kind of outside of her apartment complex in a busy city. That was like 30 years ago. And other people saw this happening or heard it happening, but no one did anything because they all thought, well, someone else is surely helping her out or calling someone. So again, kind of the diffusion of responsibility there, or bystander apathy. And that kind of spurred a lot of the pro-social research, for sure, that case with Kitty Genovese. So very interesting part of psychology. Probably my most favorite experiment ever done, though, which relates to influencing others, was the famous Milgram experiment, obedience to authority. If you really like Milgram's stuff, he has a very short book that he published when he was doing all this research called Obedience to Authority. It's probably like 120 pages long or something like that. Goes through all of his experiments and conclusions and stuff. Really awesome. Milgram did this experiment because he essentially wanted to demonstrate or explore whether Americans have the same mindset as the citizens of Nazi Germany did. Because he was thinking, wow, how could people commit such atrocities and just go along with it and not really question it and live in Germany and do all this stuff. So he wanted to kind of demonstrate or explore whether Americans are the same. In a survey that he sent out to like hundreds of psychologists around the country at that time, asking whether his experiment would succeed or not, they said, no way. No one is going to inflict that amount of pain on other people. There's no way it's going to happen. Americans won't do this. Not going to happen. Well, obviously the results speak for themselves, and obviously not real pain was being dictated onto other people in his experiment. It was a big experiment with deception, which is a whole other topic. I won't go through his whole experiment here because I'll get carried away with myself. But Milgram's experiment is very, very eye-opening, and I think it has a lot to do with human nature and how we interact with authority and how other people influence us. And usually when I talk about this, I encourage people to really reflect on the idea that most people did the shocks all the way to the fullest extent. I think it was like 400 volts. So that means that most of us probably would have gone all the way with the shocking. So It's easy for us to say, well, I wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't, just because someone's telling me to do something, I wouldn't push, I wouldn't keep shocking another person. There's a lot of factors that play into that dynamic, and I think being honest with ourselves is important. And if you do read his book, he did a lot of other experiments, kind of manipulating different variables, and it's not so simple. So anyway, very, very interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope this discussion board is enjoyable for you with throwing your ideas back and forth. Feel free to comment on anything that I have said, or email me with any questions about that too. So we have this discussion board and section for a couple of weeks, and we just kind of keep this. This will be kind of the halfway mark of the class, guys. And then we only have a few sections left before we do our final paper. And I will definitely be putting out a video for that, going through the rubric for that and talking about it and whatnot. So be on the lookout for that as well. So hope everyone is doing well, and talk to you soon.